If we're going to grasp the wonder of prayer, we need to feel the wonder of the one we're praying to. Like, think about it. If you have a conversation with a chicken, you don't think that's very wonderful. You think that's very weird. If you have a conversation with another person, depending on who it is, you might think it's wonderful. If you have a conversation with God, you should walk away saying, that is wonderful. If you realize who God is, if you realize He is holy, He's holy. Let's read the passage. Moses was keeping the flock of his father-in-law Jethro, the priest of Midian. He led his flock to the west side of the wilderness, came to Horeb, the mountain of God, and the angel of the Lord appeared to him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. He looked, and behold, the bush was burning, yet it was not consumed. And Moses said, I will turn aside to see this great sight, why the bush is not burned. When the Lord saw that he turned aside to see, God called to him out of the bush. Moses, Moses. He said, here I am. Then he said, do not come near. Take off your sandals off your feet, for the place on which you are standing is holy ground. And he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face. He was afraid to look at God. Like when you and I pray, well, you're praying to the God who is perfectly unique, completely separate, and absolutely pure. There is no one like him anywhere in all the universe. He is holy. He is holy. He is merciful. The whole point here in Exodus 3 is that while God is holy, He is not distant from us. God sees our affliction, hears our cries, knows our sufferings, and God remembers His covenant, His promises to us. So here it's promises He made in Genesis 15 to His people that He references in Exodus 3. God is ever present. God is all powerful. In prayer, you're talking to the Lord, the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. All powerful, He is self-existent. So Exodus 3:14 is when God reveals His name to Moses. Moses asks, who will I tell them sent me to you? God says, I am who I am. Told him, I am has sent me to you. That name, Yahweh, from the Hebrew verb to be, appears over 6,000 times in the Old Testament. Every time you see the word Lord in all caps in your Bible, that's Yahweh, the I am, the God who has no origin. You have an origin, I have an origin, God has no origin. He is self-existent, He is self-sufficient. You have needs, I have needs, God has no needs. God doesn't need us or anyone or anything else. Psalms 50 makes that clear. Tozer says, were all human beings suddenly to become blind, still the sun would shine by day and the stars by night, for these owe nothing to the millions who benefit from their light. So were every man on earth to become an atheist, it could not affect God in any way. He is what He is in Himself without regard to any other. To believe in Him adds nothing to His perfections. To doubt Him takes nothing away. For God to be the I am means that He is eternal, He was, He is, and He always will be. Like a bush that burns perpetually, His glory never dims, and His beauty never fades.